Anubhav, you have awesome experience in software engineering. You work for Microsoft. You've been working for Adobe in the past. So over the last 9, 10 years, you must have been on plenty of job interviews, right? So that's exactly what we would like to kind of dive deeper to, and our fellow recruiters would like to know more about what is it like on the other side of the desk, so to speak. What is your experience? What are some common mistakes that recruiters make, and what they can do better? So, why don't you tell us first, like, what was your recent experience like, during your last set of interviews?
Thanks, Michael, for inviting me for this interview. So the last interview I gave was around 4 years back when I was applying for Microsoft, and at that time I applied for multiple companies. So I would say the experience with recruiter has been very much, I would say, in many cases has been wonderful, but in some cases they have not been so good. So it has been mix of both. So we find recruiters who are well versed with the tech stack. They know, they set the expectations right, and they are with you throughout the journey of the recruitment. Whereas there are some recruiters who are not very much, they do not know much about the tech stack. Sometimes they do not set the expectations of in terms of a comp ratio. So all sorts of experience I have had in the last time when I gave the interviews.
Yeah, I can imagine over the years. So, are there any mistakes that you have seen recruiters make, like something that you remember even after all these years, something that you would recommend other recruiters don't make?
The first thing, and that can be the deal breaker for, I think, all the interviews which we give and apply for the companies, is to set the expectations clear from the beginning. So whenever you have the first call with any engineer, so you can set up, or you can ask that what is your current comp from the company, and what the range which you would expect, and is it negotiable or not. It happened with me multiple times, not just once. When I went through multiple loops, I spent around, I think around 2 weeks to 3 weeks, one after the other round, clearing those rounds. And later we come to know that, hey, your current pay scale is even more than our current budget. So it should not be, I mean, I understand 10%, 20% of diff, and which everybody is okay with. But there have been instances where the recruiter altogether missed asking that question, and then it came out later in the recruitment process.
And then you wasted lots of time and plenty of hours, right, on interviews.
Yeah, so not just me, but the hiring team and the engineering manager and whoever took my interview, their time also got wasted.
So true, so true. You've been in IT for so many years, right? So all these program languages, frameworks, but recruiters who just happen to be interviewing people like you, they usually don't know much about the IT world. So what is it like from your experience? Like when someone without any experience in IT starts interviewing you, are there any tips that you would recommend, some IT jargon or something, that you would like the person to know about?
Yeah, definitely. So even here, I find range of experience from different recruiters. Some recruiters are very much clear with the tech stack. So I don't expect the recruiters to know everything in the tech stack. I don't expect them to know the details of JavaScript, internals of Java, and all those things. But I expect them to know a little bit of frameworks, that if somebody tells that they are skilled in JavaScript, so most likely they would be inclined towards front end. Or when they are talking about React, Redux, and all those things, so it's about the front end. Whereas what are the backend technologies? You should know. What are the front end technologies? We should know. Then there are Android developers and iOS developers. So the basic structure, that is really helpful. And what happens is that if the recruiter is aware of these things, then they generally help you as well. So they would give you some hints that, hey, this company focuses more on data structures and algorithms, whereas some other company might be focusing more on Java or some tech stacks which is specific to that company. So if that recruiter is aware about the basic structure and what's the framework for the backend engineer, that will really enhance their chances of communicating with the engineers and maybe converting them to get hired.
Yeah, that's a great point. The IT knowledge always helps to engage with people like you. Awesome. And some recruiters may also wonder regarding the referral programs. Does it work? Does it not work? By referral programs, I mean the candidate referral programs, which recruiters sometimes offer, or especially staffing agencies, they offer to candidates like, hey, if you know anyone who may be interested, let me know, and we will pay you the referral fee. So, what is your experience like, or do you know in your circles people who have ever received such an offer?
From the recruiters?
Yes, yes. Like, does it work in the region where you live? Like, would you say this is something kind of beneficial? Would you like recruiters to give you these opportunities?
I would love to have such opportunities, but that doesn't work in this region. What happens is that in this region, the recruiters call us, and if we are not looking out for the job opportunities, they would ask that, hey, by any chance, do you know someone might be looking out for the job opportunity? So in those
Hmm.
cases, if I know someone, I would definitely share their contact email address, or I'll ask the person and then uh, help them exchange their numbers. But there is no such referral program. There is no monetary benefit involved for
Hmm.
me to connect these two people. But
Hmm.
yeah, this is the practice which recruiters follow, that the moment I say I'm not looking out for the job change, they try to get further leads. So that's a good
Hmm.
thing, I suppose.
Okay. So, and
Yeah.
you say that you now don't get any kind of referral fees or any referral
No.
offers. So, like, let's say hypothetically, like if a recruiter comes and says like, "Hey, Anubhav, if you refer a friend of yours or a colleague, we would pay you $1,000 or $2,000." Like, what amount would be kind of interesting enough for you to like really pick up the phone and ask a few friends?
So the referral programs works within the company for us, not just in Microsoft, but in other companies which I have been part of. So the referral amount is generally between 30,000 rupees to 50,000 rupees. I need to convert to your currency. So you can imagine, in general, it is for the good companies, it is 50,000 rupees. Uh, yeah, that's the
Yeah,
general trend. Yeah.
it's like 350 US dollars roughly.
Yeah. So that's how it works in India. So I think based on the countries and the region, the amount might change, but this is the
Mhm.
interesting enough amount for us to
Mhm.
refer a candidate to our companies.
Mhm. Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome, great.
Yeah.
Good, good. So, coming back to the interview process, is there anything you would like to kind of advise to recruiters when they reach out to you, for example, on LinkedIn? This is quite common kind of a fear of recruiters. When they need to reach out to people on LinkedIn, they need to send some message, and I assume you receive plenty of messages every day, from fellow recruiters. So, what kind of messages get you hooked, get you interested?
So I think a few things which definitely gets us interested is that if the recruiter talks a bit about you know which what type of team they are going to refer for, maybe a little bit about the tech stack, a little bit about the company, and I would say that really helps. That I am generally interested to know if a company is public or not, because if the company is public, it means that it is really doing well. So adding those information which I care about. So the number one is, if it is very in the nascent stage, that would be a different thing. But if it is a public company, earning profit, it means that the company is doing good business, so they can highlight that. The second is the tech stack. That is the second thing which they can highlight about. The third thing I would say is that's a general, I would say it's my personal opinion, that instead of generating the content using artificial intelligence and chat gpt, try to write your own content. So what happens is that, I mean, it's a general trend nowadays to generate the content using chat gpt. But what happens is that these platforms, they they are too verbose. So they generate a very long message of, let's say, 200 words. but the important bits would be hidden somewhere. So I'm not interested in all those jargons that are you really ready to join the world's largest force. No, I'm not interested in all those jargons which the artificial
Mhm.
intelligence generates. I mean, it's good to have, but not in 200 words. So
Mhm.
instead of that, try to write by yourself. 50 words or even 100 words should be fine.
Yeah, yeah, that's actually good advice, really, because there are so many now these new platforms trying to get people to send messages generated, but it may become counterproductive, at least. So this is interesting that you say, and good that you highlighted also the technical stack, which recruiters can definitely highlight in those messages. Okay, and then when they get you on the interview, they how do they or if I rephrase it, what would be from your standpoint the best way to get you hooked once you are on a call with the recruiter? Like, what would get you interested in the opportunity?
So I think there is one thing which the recruiter can do is that, first of all, they if they are good at in their tech skills, and if they know a little bit about the tech stack, so when they hear about my experience that, hey, I have worked on so and so things, they should be able to map me to the right team. So in every company there would be multiple teams which would be hiring. So let's say in Microsoft there would be hundreds of teams working on hundreds of tech stacks which would be hiring. So if they're able to map me to the right team, so let's say I tell that, hey, I have a really good experience in Java and really good experience in backend engineering with a database heavy work. And
Hmm.
if they have a good technical breadth, then the recruiter will say that, hey, I know exactly the team for which you might be interested. So if they are able to map me to the right team, then that
Hmm.
will definitely get me hope that, yeah, this is what I was looking for, and this recruiter is able to map me to the right team. And then the second thing which could help, and I have seen many recruiters doing it, you know, they keep on following up. What happens is, let's say my interview round one is scheduled, so they will give me a short call, or they will send me an email sending me the details of the first round, that, hey, this particular round would generally focus on data structures. You can focus on data structures for this round. The other round might be focusing on design patterns. So
Hmm.
if they have those details, so these two things definitely us keeps
Hmm.
me hooked.
This is good. The preparation for the interview that is often neglected, but it's good, very good that you mention it, because definitely there is plenty of space for improvement in terms of preparation and coaching. I've heard that some recruiters go as far as preparing candidates on what kind of questions they can expect and what could be the possible answers. So interesting, awesome, cool. So we pretty much covered the process, from reaching out to you on LinkedIn through interviews. Is there anything that you would like to advise to fellow recruiters? One final advice before we wrap it up? Something that you would
No,
like them to do or not do at all?
no, I think we have pretty much covered it. And the crux of our discussion, I feel, is that if the recruiters know a little bit about the tech stack, covering a little bit about the breadth, then other areas will just come
Hmm.
with this. So I think
Hmm.
knowing about the industry for which you are hiring will definitely help. If you are hiring engineers, then know a little bit about engineering. If you are
Hmm.
hiring product managers, then know a little bit of product managers. So likewise it goes. So knowing a little bit will definitely help every other area, I think.
Hmm. Yeah, this is totally applicable across the board. Awesome,
Yeah.
great. Thanks for sharing your experience from being on so many interviews over the last 9 years. So yeah, where can people find a bit more about you? Is it on LinkedIn, or do you have some other website? You also mentioned the YouTube channel.
So I have a YouTube channel that is Better Dev with Anubhav. So that's in my YouTube channel where I help the software engineers, and in fact I collaborate with other software engineers so that we all can be better engineers. So that's my goal, so that you can connect me on my YouTube channel where people can learn about various tech stacks, and you can even message me. I run a small community where we learn every weekend new tech stack. We all grow together. So that's
Very
my
cool.
YouTube channel.
Very cool. Very cool. Okay, so we will include the link in the show notes and on YouTube in the description.
Yeah, thanks very much, Michael, for having me.
Wonderful. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.